Right, it is 6:30 p.m., so I will now call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order on August 8th, 2023. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knutson?
Here.
Gross?
Here.
Quinn?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Goodrich?
All council members except Councilmember Goodrich are present, as is the mayor, the city clerk, the city attorney, the deputy city administrator, and several other staff in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Jones, seconded by Wynn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Number 4, I have the honor of presenting a certificate of appreciation to West Music for their significant contributions to the community. Whereas, as part of celebrating its 150 years of rich history and bright future, the City of Coralville recognizes and values the dedication, commitment, and entrepreneurial spirit within our community. Local businesses and organizations keep our community, the state, and the American economy vibrant and strong. And whereas it is without question, West Music exemplifies the spirit of local businesses within the Coralville community. And whereas in 1941, Pearl L. West and is that Pearl or Paul? Pearl. Supposed to be Pearl? I'm sorry, I'm just reading this.
It's Pearl.
Is it Pearl?
It's Pearl.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was reading it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. Pearl L. West and wife Eleanor moved permanently to the Iowa City area, where they fostered a music career by continuing college pursuits, teaching high school, performing in bands, and worked at designing flutes and repairing instruments. And whereas West Music built a store at 1212 5th Street in Coralville, Iowa in 1973, and son Steve, wife Vicky, and now grandson Ryan makes for 3 generations at the helm of their thriving worldwide business. And whereas in 2006, a 40,000 square foot fulfillment center was built in West Coralville to support the growth of West Music's local, national, and international businesses. And whereas over 82 years, West Music has expanded to include virtually all types of musical instruments, including pianos and keyboards, band and orchestra instruments, guitars and amplifiers, drums and percussion, software, elementary general music materials, early childhood instruments, and music therapy products. West Music is also proud to provide a full array of services with repair technicians, delivery crew, music therapists, lesson teachers, school music representatives, classroom consultants, and customer service consultants, in addition to the sales and administrative staff. And whereas the West Music family and staff have served and continue to serve and support the community in numerous capacities, sponsorships, and positions, including but not limited to the Arts and Education in Schools, New Horizons Band, Iowa City Community Band, and the Eastern Iowa Airport, Fourth Fest, and the always anticipated active and creative participation in the Coralville Holiday Business Luncheon. I have the bells in my office. And now, therefore, having served and continuing to serve the city of Coralville, we wish to recognize West Music for their dedication to the citizens of Coralville and the surrounding community. Signed on this 8th day of August 2023, Megan Foster, Mayor. Okay, and we have some folks here from West Music that are here to accept the proclamation. Would you like to say a few words?
It would be our pleasure. I'm Steve West, second generation. This is Ryan, the third generation. And Madam Mayor, I thank you very much for this very nice recognition and certificate, or I guess it's not a certificate, it is a certificate. Yeah, a certificate, yes. When we, 50 years plus on, when we chose to come to Coralville, We were urban renewal out of Iowa City, and we weren't sure. At that time, it wasn't cool to be in Coralville, but fortunately now it is, very much so. Anyway, 50 years ago, we had no idea what would happen to the future of West Music, nor of Coralville, and I'm very, very happy to stand here before you to say we both did very well over these last 50 years, and I'm very, very proud of what has been accomplished by Coralville and our partnership with West Music as well. I would be remiss if I didn't also say or mention Kelly Hayworth, city manager in the last 35 years. Mm-hmm. Kelly has been a friend, but also an incredible person to help facilitate and allow West Music to grow here in Coralville. Not only here on 5th Street, but also in our new fulfillment center, or newer fulfillment center to the west. It has allowed us, Coralville's been very business friendly and has allowed us to continue to grow and to continue, obviously, our employment and in hiring additional people throughout our history. So thank you again for this recognition. May I turn it over to Ryan, who's really the CEO and running the place.
Well, I don't have much more else to add other than as the celebration is looking at a great history as well as a bright future. We've got a fourth generation of Wests here that hopefully may continue this on, as well as we'll continue on our presence as well as our commitment to the Coralville community, continuing to grow, continuing the same spirit that we've had the last 50 years in Coralville. And we look forward to the bright future ahead. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you. And would you like to take a picture? Sure. All right.
Right up here.
All right.
Sherry's going to take it.
Oh, Sherry's got it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Come over here.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gotcha. Thank you. Nice to see you.
I think the business is in great hands. I noticed the fourth generation young lady is taking notes during this whole thing. So she'll be, at 50 years, she'll be ready to do this again.
This is the city's lesson. Great city is run.
That's good.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. All right. Item number 5, community comments. This is a time for community members to speak to us about items that aren't on the agenda or items that are on the agenda but are not subject to a public hearing. Each speaker will have 5 minutes, and we do reserve the right to adjust both the individual speaking time and the overall comment time based on the number of speakers or any accommodations that a speaker might need. So is there anyone that would wish to speak to us tonight? Okay. Then we will move on to number 6 on our agenda. CIVCO Project Urban Renewal Plan. This is a public hearing, and this is for the abatement portion of the development agreement for the CIVCO project. And we will start with the consultation report.
Yes. The city sent notice of a consultation as required by Chapter 403 of the Code of Iowa to Clear Creek Amana School District and the Johnson County. And the consultation was scheduled to be held on July 24th at 2 p.m. And we did not have anybody attend the consultation. So there is nothing to report.
Great. Thank you for that. We will now move on to the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak to us about this? Do we have any written comments?
No written.
Okay. I'll close the public hearing, and we will consider the resolution.
Resolution approving amendment number 15 to the amended and restated urban renewal plan for the Mall and Highway 6 urban renewal area. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Knutson, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this agenda item?
I don't remember talking about this. Have we seen a map of what we're amending?
This is just, this is actually already in the urban renewal plan, in the urban renewal area. This is just the project, which is the development agreement, which will be on the next council meeting. So you have to add the project to the plan. We didn't add any area to the plan already. This is this is the property that's south of Lowe's, south of Highway 6. That's owned right now by the Altmeyer family.
I think we either did the rezoning or the
Yeah.
site plan at the last meeting.
Oh, okay, so
Yep.
we're south of Highway 6.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
By all those hotels.
Yes,
Yep.
to the west
West
of
of
that
Coralville
big-
Avenue.
To the west of those, yeah.
Yep.
That building. So I didn't know we were going to make that part of the TIF when we voted on that.
It's in the.
It's already in the
It's
urban
already
renewal
in the
area.
area, yeah.
Well, let me be more specific. I didn't know we were going to give them a 15% abatement.
Well, they're gonna, the abatement's over 15 years.
15-year
Yes.
abatement, yeah.
I think Kelly had talked about this at a work session a while, it was 2, 3, 4 months ago, I think. So I don't know if you were, I don't remember if you were here when we talked about, we did talk about it at one time. So I just don't remember if you, but that's, the development agreement will be on the next agenda, and we'll send the agreement out for you to take a look at before, in the packet next time also.
So our quid pro quo, if you will, is the jobs they're bringing in.
Yes, the abatement will be, the rebate, or it'll be a rebate, will be that they have to hold a certain number of jobs available during the rebate time and make sure that all their property taxes are paid to qualify to get the rebate every year.
And is there usually a stipulation or a requirement for the, either the number of jobs or like a minimum salary?
Yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah.
a jobs number and a salary,
Yeah.
and an average salary range. So then every year they'll have to present to us that they have those jobs in place.
Got it.
And that's similar to what is in the research park,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
That there has to be a certain number of jobs and they have to have a certain minimum salary. And I
Right.
think, isn't it something like, is it in the 60s?
Yeah, so remember,
Like
if
64
you
or
remember
65?
like the place that's going out by, on the far end of West Core Drive, that's from the research park, they were in like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
The cancer research place, it's a similar agreement to that, where they'll have to have a certain number of jobs, and it'll be at a salary, and the salary out there is, it's usually above the, median or
Yep.
income, and they'll have benefits and everything like that.
Do we have a formula we use to say it's a good deal, a reasonable deal?
So what they have, there'll be a $15 million minimum assessment on that building. So that funding gap is based upon what we will get in property taxes that City Minister Hayworth uses that formula. So that's how we do that.
But in terms of not, so say we get we're giving them back an extra $500,000 a year, whatever it might be.
Yeah, it won't be that much, but yes.
Yeah, whatever it comes to, is that worth 100 jobs? Is it worth 50? Or how do we come to that determination that it's a fair deal for everybody?
We asked for the job numbers and the salary range to make sure that they meet that. We sort of follow the same formula that the state programs use on the when they do these type of job deals.
Sure.
So that's how we get the job numbers and the salary numbers. So.
And the rebate is all based on the increment, so it's only on what's additional over what that
Yeah, we're
property
already
is
getting-
generating now.
Right.
So without improvement, it's the same as it would have been.
Right now, it's taxed as basically ag property, so next to nothing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it hasn't been platted, so it qualifies as ag property right now. So the assessment on there is probably a couple $100.
Okay.
Great. Okay, any other questions or comments on this? All right, could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Item number 7, we have a public hearing for the Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center renovations. This increase in the draw loan is not to exceed the construction cost budget, including closing costs and capitalized interest for the Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center renovations. I'll now open the public hearing on this item. Is there anyone that would like to speak to us? Do we have any written comments? No. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and we will consider the resolution.
Resolution determining to proceed with the entering into one or more lease purchase agreements or loan agreements in a principal amount of not to exceed $5 million for improvements to and equipment for the city's hotel and conference center and taking additional action thereon. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Knutson. Questions or comments on this item?
This was expected, I assume, and
Yeah.
yeah, we're not over budget or anything on this whole project.
This was the budget from the, yeah. No, this is not adding on anything we hadn't had before.
Right.
So this is, yeah.
This ensures that we get the correct amount for the project.
And the project is on time. The rooms are all done.
Yeah, the rooms are done. What they're doing now is the bar and coffee area, I believe. And then they're going to take a pause during football season, and then they'll finish the restaurant up after football season. And then I believe they're going to be done in April, I believe.
February or March.
February or March,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So we think the bar and the new coffee shop will be open before football season here in a few weeks?
Should be open by Labor Day.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
Yep, and the rooms look amazing. We've been able to tour those and for our CHC committee, and they're doing a really great job.
Have we got any feedback on the new rooms from customers?
I think if they've been positive. There's been obviously some folks that are not happy with the construction noise, but
Right.
they've been working really hard to accommodate and try to do a bulk of the construction, when people will be out of their rooms, obviously not doing very much early in the morning or at night when people are sleeping. But they look great, and the staff at the Hyatt is doing a really great job of managing this challenging
Transition.
period as we
Yeah.
make these updates.
They did have a couple of really big weeks over there. They had Wiffles Hybrids, which is a seed corn company. They had a lot of their dealers there the beginning of the last week in July. Then, of course, Ragbri and Anime that last weekend. So they've been really busy, and I think that the new rooms are really popular, and they are getting good feedback, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Number 8, we have a public hearing for sewer revenue bonds. This is to utilize sewer revenue bonds to finance the West Land Use Area Central Trunk Sewer and Oakdale Force Main projects. I'll now open the public hearing on this. And do we have any written comments? No written. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and we will consider the resolution.
Resolution taking additional action to enter into one or more sewer revenue loan agreements in the amount of not to exceed $11 million. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Wynn, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Jones. Questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Number 9, Well 10 Recasing. This project recased Water Well 10 near the intersection of 12th Avenue and Liberty Lane. I would entertain a motion to approve the pay estimate number 6 final from Northway Well and Pump Company for the Well 10 recasing 2021 for the amount of $33,057.30. Could I have that motion?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Jones. Could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Gross. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion passes with Goodrich absent. Item B, could I have that resolution, please?
Can I ask a question on that
Oh,
one?
sure, yeah.
Why did we have to vote on that? 33,000 is already done?
You have to, every time you have a pay, this is for the retainage that gets paid out in 30 days. So every time you make a payment under the contract, the contract set up that every payment made under the contract has to be approved by the council before it's paid. So like.
And that can't go into the consent?
When we do the acceptance, we don't do the consent calendar because when we accept it, that means that the bonds or the warranties under the project start at that time. So every pay application or regular payment will be in the consent calendar. When you do the final acceptance, the last payment and the acceptance has to be by resolution.
Okay.
Okay. Could I have that resolution?
Resolution accepting well 10 recasing 2021 as completed. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Jones, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. Any other final questions or comments?
Just not regarding the motion, but I noticed there was a lot of rust that happened on Liberty Lane. I assume it came from when they were working on this well. Has anybody noticed that? It's from the well. Yeah. Does that'll eventually go? There's nothing you can do about that, I assume, Scott. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll ask our water. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Any other questions? All right. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knutson?
Aye.
Gross? Aye. Quinn?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Number 10, speed zones amendment. This is the first reading of an ordinance that would add special speed zones in the area of First Avenue, North Liberty Road Northeast, Dubuque Street Northeast, and Rustic Ridge Northeast. The first part of this agenda item would be to approve the changes, and then the second part of this agenda item would be to collapse the second and third readings so that we can have these speed limits in place before the start of the school year. So could I have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 2023-1010, an ordinance amending section 63.01 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coralville establishing special speed zones. This ordinance introduced for adoption, first consideration by Councilmember Knutson, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. So I will just start off the discussion first and foremost by saying thank you to Scott Larson for his incredible work on this. I know he put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. Really appreciate how thoughtful he was in bringing his recommendations to the council and to the community members that stepped up with their concerns. I also just had a quick question about the county. Have we talked to the county about this? And
Yes.
no.
I'll have Scott.
Okay.
Scott's talked to Mr. Parker. I'll have him explain.
Yes, we received, or I received concurrence from County Engineer Greg Parker about the proposed speed limit changes. And they're in a similar situation where I think they have 2 meetings to formally approve the changes. So I think with their schedule, they may actually be a little bit ahead of us based on their meetings. So, but basically, as of right now, we're planning ahead so that assuming everything goes as planned and both entities approve those changes on or before August 22nd, that we will be out there
Changing the signs.
sunrise or sometime the morning of August 23rd and unveiling the speed limit changes. I will say that we, leading up to that, probably a week before, we do intend to deploy message boards. There will be a press release indicating these changes are coming. And so I think we'll be able to implement it. We probably won't be able to install every sign that we want. We'll have a little bit higher frequency of speed limit signs to better mimic how we do it within the denser part of the city. Just as a reminder, as people turn off of side streets, that they should see a speed limit sign fairly soon after they turn on to First Avenue. So we may not be able to acquire every single sign we want, but we will have enough to make the basic changes that we need.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I would just add, to me, this is a perfect example how municipal government should work. Respectful comments from citizens, and then hard work by our city staff, and an end result that is sensible and really helps the people in that area. So it just makes me feel good that we could get this done.
I love that you said that, because I had the exact same thought. Like, this is the way it should work.
Yeah.
You know, we have community members that come to us with a concern. We work on it together, you know, we come up with a solution that is practical and that is well thought out and well researched. And I agree, Keith, 100%.
Yeah, so I want to thank Julie Fitzpatrick for the way that she did this and organized the constituents, and I thought it was really the way things should be done. So Julie deserves a huge amount of credit. And Scott, thank you for the way that you approached that and did it from the city standpoint too. So appreciate that.
Great. Any other comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gross.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its first consideration, all ayes, with Goodrich absent. Item B, I would entertain a motion to collapse the second and third readings of the ordinance at the August 22nd, 2023 council meeting.
So move.
Moved by Huynh. Could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jones. All in favor,
No,
please.
we need to have a roll call on this
A roll
type.
call
Yep.
on this one? Okay,
Yep.
roll call, please.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Motion passes with all ayes, with Goodrich absent. All right. Item 11, Iowa River Landing retail leases. The owners of Allspice wish to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with one 5-year option to renew for 901 East 2nd Avenue, Suite 105 in the Iowa River Landing District. Alternate proposals are due on September 11th, 2023, and the public hearing will be on September 12th, 2023. Could I have the resolution?
Resolution of intent to dispose of interest in real property and soliciting alternate proposals for the leasing of 901 East 2nd Avenue, Suite 105. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Knutson. Any questions or comments on this one?
I've been in the Allspice store in Des Moines. It is a cool store.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this.
I had to look it up. I'd never heard of it before. So.
Yeah, it's in East.
Yeah, it's in the east.
Yeah, it's real near the Capitol. It's-
Call it a culinarium.
Oh, neat.
That's the word, yeah.
Cool. Great. All right, could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Wynn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Goodrich absent. Item B, this is a resolution approving a lease termination agreement with MDJD Aesthetic Practices and Transformation. This is Skin, Body, Soul, and the owners wish to vacate the premises at 919 East 2nd Avenue, and in exchange for terminating their lease early, the city will receive $80,000. Could I have the resolution?
Resolution approving a lease termination agreement with MDJD Aesthetic Practices and Transformations. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Wynn, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Goodrich absent. Number 12, Property Liability Auto Insurance Contact Update. This adds the new Human Resources Risk Manager, Lynn Knight, as the city's representative with the Iowa Communities Assurance Pool. Could I have the resolution?
Resolution appointing Lynn Knight and Kelly J. Hayworth as the individuals to represent the city with the Iowa Communities Assurance Pool. This resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Jones, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. Questions, comments, or discussion? All right, Roll call, please.
Councilmember Knutson?
Aye.
Gross?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Number 13, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Madam Mayor, I would like to ask council to consider a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented, A to L.
Moved by Nguyen. Could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Knutson. Could I get the roll call, please?
Councilmember Gross?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Knutson?
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved, all ayes with Goodrich absent. Number 14, Deputy City Administrator's Report.
Good evening. I would just like to congratulate Kelly Hayworth on today is his 35th anniversary of employment with the city of Coralville. Also like to mention there are $5,000 grants available for businesses through Nextdoor and the NAACP, and information about that is on the Coralville website, and you can get to the link for the applications there. So if you know of any small businesses that might be eligible, please pass that along. And lastly, just a reminder that starting on August 10th, so this Thursday, 5th Street will be closed from 7th Street to 18th Avenue, and that's expected to last until August 21st and to be reopened in time for school to start. So business access will be maintained, but it will only be from the east end, and this is in preparation for the reconstruction of 5th Street next summer. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's report, I have a few things. Obviously, want to say congratulations to Kelly on 35 years of working on behalf of the citizens of Coralville. Our community wouldn't be what it is today without Kelly's vision and his drive to see that this community is very special and we have a lot to offer. And we are just so grateful that we've had him for 35 years helping us build this community into what it is today. I'm always grateful that I have the opportunity to work alongside him and just really, really appreciate him and his family. And I'm so glad that they are part of the Coralville community. I also wanted to give a huge thank you to every single person that helped make RAGBRAI a success. Special shout out to the folks at the Convention and Visitors Bureau for their tireless work. Sherry Proud, our entire city staff, everyone, all the volunteers. There's almost too many people to thank. It was incredible, and things went really, really smoothly. We did have a bit of a hiccup with the weather situation, but again, I was nervous when I saw those skies go dark and I was looking at the park and all the tents and all the people. But I also knew that we had a plan in place, that we were prepared, that we have the best staff, the best people that are working for Johnson County Emergency Management. They were on top of things. We had everybody evacuated into a safe space, and I've heard nothing but positive feedback. And we, of course, never want to see a big storm come through and, during a big event or a big festival. But I have to say that if it was going to happen anywhere, I am glad that it happened here in Coralville, because we had facilities ready to go, we had a solid plan in place, and we kept everybody safe. And that is so remarkable. So thank you again to everybody that made RAGBRAI another great success here in the city of Coralville. I also wanted to just mention this morning, Councilmember Nguyen and I attended the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Summit at the Kirkwood Regional Center. That's a great event. It's designed to help individuals who are new to our country learn about things like financial institutions, everything that you need to start a business. And it's really important because there's a lot of individuals that come to this country. They have skills, they have drive, they want to start their own business, but they need some help navigating the ropes and learning how to navigate all of the paperwork and all of the systems so that they can get their businesses up and running. And I'm so glad that in Johnson County, we value our immigrant and BIPOC entrepreneurs, and we are working very hard to make sure that we are providing opportunities for anybody to come to this community and start a business and thrive. So great event. Thank you to the speakers and the sponsors and to the Regional Center for hosting that. And that is all I have. City Attorney's report.
I have nothing other than Mr. Deal sends his regrets. He's feeling under the weather, so he was not able to come tonight. So hopefully we'll see him back here in 2 weeks.
Great. Thank you. Okay, committee and council members report. We'll start with Councilmember Jones.
First of all, I couldn't say it any better than you did. It's always heartwarming to see how Coralville rallies for RAGBRAI, and this was an unusual year with the weather, but I just echo everything you said. It's great. I wanted to thank the Coralville Police Department and Fire Department, and specifically Lieutenant Nicholson, for coordinating National Night Out. It was a great event. I got to spend a couple hours with Councilor Knutson, and we hit, I guess we hit 3. I know we split them all up, but it's a fun event, and it's nice to see neighborhoods come together. It's a great event. And then since Councilor Goodrich isn't here tonight, I wanted to mention the event happening on Thursday night at the Coralville Library, Growing Up in Coralville and Starting a Business, moderated by Nate Kading. And that'll be a panel that will include Ben Kinseth, Sean Pearl, and Matt Swift. It's 6 o'clock at the Coralville Library, 6 to 7:30, and they're just going to talk about their memories of growing up in Coralville, going to Northwest Junior High, West High School, and then starting businesses and being successful in the community. So that should be a good event. Also, since I'm talking about the 150th, there was a meeting today of that committee. Plans are in place, or starting to get in place, for the big birthday celebration on October 1st at the Extreme Arena. Details are still to be worked out, but I know they're going to get very active now over the next weeks and month or so in refining the details of what that's going to look about. But it'll be a community celebration for the entire community to come to the Extreme Arena on Sunday, October 1st in the afternoon, and celebrate Coralville's 150th birthday. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Great. Thank you. Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I would like to echo what the mayor and Councilor Jones said regarding RAGBRAI, and of course, just getting done with 4th of July Parade. I mean, the staff has been working so hard, and everybody in the community really rallied together to make Coralville a welcoming community to, 50,000 guests for one day. So thank you again. Summer lunch is in its last week. Thank you to the Rec Center and the Iowa City Community School District to partner with the pantry to make the summer lunch a successful one. We did it for 10 weeks. This is our last week, and this is a fun week. So if you hadn't had a chance to check out the summer lunch, come eat with us. This entire week, we have food catered in from restaurant. Today, we have Slamming Jamming Wings. Tomorrow, I believe it's 30 Hops. And then Slamming Jamming Wing coming back on Thursday. And then Iowa Athletic Club is providing food on Friday. So please come by. We are really hoping to sustain this program for every summer after the summer. And in order to do that, we continue to ask for the support from the rec center and also the school district. In celebration of our 150 year, we are having we're not having, but we are making a community cookbook. And I know that we have one for 100-year celebration and one for 125, so it's only fitting to have one for 150 as well. There is a form on the Coralville Library website that when you go in there, you put in community cookbook, it will lead you straight to the form where you can enter your recipe in here. This cookbook is a little different than the last two in a sense that it's not only collecting recipe, but it's collecting recipe in a story form. So we're asking for a story that is leading to the recipe. So sharing a little bit more a personal attachment to that story. And our community is so diverse, so our hope is that this cookbook will reflect the diversity of our community in the food that we eat every day with our family. Again, we don't have that much time, and so we only have until August 31st to collect all the recipe and be able to put it together to make a cookbook. So if you have a recipe out there that you would like to share, please go on the Coralville Library website or the Food Pantry website. You can also request a printout form and then fill that out and then submit it to either the library or the Food Pantry, and then we type it up. We're really hoping to have a substantial size of a cookbook, so please submit your recipe. And I would urge all of my colleagues and mayor and staff to also submit a recipe as well. It's only make our cookbook richer, just like the community that we live in. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I've already told my husband to pick out a recipe because I don't cook.
You can make a drink.
Maybe. It's just better for the community if I don't submit anything. Because it would be like burned frozen pizza. That's about all I can make. All right. Councilmember Gross.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with Mike.
No.
Well, much has been said, so I'm not going to echo as well, but appreciate everything that everybody did for Ragbri. I appreciate what you said, Mayor, about Kelly. I thought that was a perfectly well-said statement. I guess the one thing I will say about National Night Out, having done this for a long time, it's just so great seeing new neighborhoods added. I had the pleasure of going with Councilmember Huynh, and we got added the one that just put together that day, and it was probably one of my favorite ones I've ever been to. Just just 3 different continents of food were represented at this one, little neighborhood gathering on 9th Street. So it's just a really, really cool thing about our community. 2 quick things. One, if you saw the front page of the Cedar Rapids Gazette Sunday edition, you know that there was a bill that was passed about removing certain books from school libraries. I just want to remind people that student ID cards, high school student ID cards, also work as your city library card. So just if a book isn't available at the school, you can use your student ID card to go to the Coralville Library or the Iowa City Library to make sure that you get the books that you want to check out. And then thirdly, just so I'm clear, in our notes to know, we talked about about the seats ride transportation for the DMV motor vehicles. Is that all that's going to happen, or can anybody access that?
Yes, anybody can access it. I did email the mobility coordinator because I just had some questions about the cost, but they would contact the mobility coordinator to arrange a ride.
Okay. And how is that going to get communicated out?
I would assume that that's through Johnson County Social Services, and it's on our website as well, and there was a social media post about it. Ellen, do you have any other information?
Those are the primary ways I'm aware of that it's available. We did send it out when we did the news posting. We sent it out to everyone who was signed up, which includes all the media organizations. So anyone that comes in and asks, we're certainly sharing that as well.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. And finally, Councilmember Knudsen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Agree completely. Amazing job with Ragbri, and the only thing I'll add, since they're in the room, is Chief Crone and the entire police department deserve a shout out for keeping people safe, and Sherry Proud, in particular, in the Parks and Rec, since they're here. Wanted to give them a special thanks, and that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Huynh, seconded by Jones. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you.